Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Carletta, the Esquire in Training. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys how I brief my cases for class. As you guys see, I'm already on Westlaw. If you are a law student or soon to be law student, you already know like this is one of your best friends. So as you guys see, I already have my case pulled up here. If you don't know how to search for cases, it's pretty simple. It's just like searching for anything on Google, and yeah, it's just gonna take you to the case. So what I would typically do is read backwards. So that means I'm gonna go down to the bottom of my opinion and read the conclusion, and a little bit of the ends of the analysis from the court. So that would pretty much be this entire little blog. I would go ahead and read that area first. So then after I got a gist of what the court did, I would go all the way back up to the beginning of my opinion and go through my facts, which would be this right here. If you still don't understand with your facts, you can always go up to the top to the synopsis. The synopsis pretty much puts the facts and the conclusion, like everything. Now we're gonna go ahead and go over to the actual brief document. So typically when you're turning in briefs for your professor, they're gonna want, typical name, heading, and then they're gonna want the title of the case, the year, and the case citation. This is your citation right here. I'm gonna go ahead and highlight that for you guys. We'll just do highlight it in red. And then, title of the case, which would include the name of the plaintiff and defendant, and then the year. So first, you have your facts. And you can set this up how you want, but I generally like to put the facts at the top. That way, when I'm briefing it for the class can follow along better. Next, I go ahead with my issue, and when I'm formulating my issue, I'm using the facts from my facts section, which is nothing but my key relevant facts. Like this is the facts that the court used to make their determination. So my issue statement here is whether Small Engine's 14th Amendment due process rights were violated when the Casios foreclosed on the property that Small Engine purchased in 1980 and subsequently defaulted. Now, if I take you back up to the top where my facts are, you see here in 1980, Small Engine, who is a Louisiana corporation, bought property that was owned by the Casios. So I'm going to highlight that fact for you. And as you continue to read, pretty much you see where I got those facts from. Pretty much that's how you would formulate any issue statement. Just look at your key facts. Don't look at none of the other facts, just the key facts. Because if you start looking at them other facts, it's going to give you a whole new issue and you're going to be answering another question. So the next part of our CRAC is the rule section. And the rule section, typically you can copy this verbatim, no problem. In some cases, they might apply more than one rule. But in this instance, there's only one. And that would be Louisiana Revised Statute 133886. So let me show you guys how I found my rule and where. So I was in my opinion here, and I was reading, just reading. And this is more factual background, and we have the law on foreclosure sales. So here is the rule section in the case. So I'm going to go ahead and highlight all of that for you guys. All right, so I just read through all of this, and I started thinking, okay. So you could apply all of this to the rule section if you want to. That's if you want to. But most of the times, your professor is just looking for a concise rule of law. And in this case, my concise rule of law was Louisiana Revised Statute 1338-86. What I've learned to do is just go look up the rule if I really don't understand from just reading the rule section and the facts of the case. And this is request for notice of seizure on specific property, notification by sheriff, and failure to notify. So this gives me my rule that the court used to come up with their judgment. I'll go ahead and just go back to the previous page. And as we go down here, it says right here, in effect, the district court held that 1338-86 applies to any foreclosure action regardless of the factual context, regardless of the nature of the property, right subject to deprivation, and regardless of whether the responsible state actor exercising reasonable diligence may reasonably ascertain the identity of the owner of the property right subject to deprivation. Louisiana statute as construed by the district court eliminates the circumstantial nature of a due process inquiry by prospectively shifting the entire burden of ensuring actual notice in every case to the owner of property subject to deprivation. Okay, so from that paragraph, it sounds like my issue statement, right? Right. Sounds like my issue statement. And so with that, I'm like, all right, that might be my rule. So then I would keep reading, and then see what the court says in its analysis. So now we're going to jump back over to my analysis, which would be my interpretation of the court's analysis. So here I said that the Supreme Court reasoned that Louisiana Revised Statute 1338-86 only supplements Louisiana's pre-existing constructive notice scheme and foreclosure actions by providing those unknown parties an opportunity to request notice and become ascertainable. So then I said the court found the sale of the seized property to be a deprivation of Small Engine's property because Small Engine did not receive adequate notice of the seizure before the seize and sale of the property. Now, if we go back to the case, the court goes through and talks about notice, talks about the Louisiana requirements for notice, and as it pertains to known persons with interest in property and unknown persons with interest in property. And it uses different cases, cites to different cases, and all of that good stuff. So that's pretty much how I come up with my analysis. And then the conclusion, that's pretty simple. The conclusion is literally whether or not the court affirmed, which is agreed with the trial court, or disagreed with the trial court and reversed and remanded it, or reversed it. And in this case, they reversed and remanded it, sent it back down to be reviewed again. And that's that. That is how you IRAC a case. The CRAC is pretty much the same concept. Instead, though, my issue would be small engines, and I'm gonna go ahead and change that to conclusion. And I'll say, therefore, space, small engines 14th Amendment due process rights were violated when the Casios foreclosed on the property that small engine purchased in 1980. And that would be how you would set up your CRAC analysis. You pretty much keep everything the same from your heading to your facts. The only thing that's different is the issue and conclusion. And some people like it better to know that know the conclusion first. I like the issue format better because it helps me formulate my analysis a little bit better. And that's gonna be it for this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and I'm gonna go ahead and get back to work because I gotta y'all just don't know, this semester, I'm over it. But I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace out.